Lesta is doing a Lesta, not Wargaming, is doing a submarine rework. Keep in mind that unlike Wargaming, who nerfed shotgunning, making that you have to be outside of 3 kilometers, otherwise you deal no damage. I wish they would have, by the way, Wargaming wish they would have made it also so that you can't break engine and you can't cause floodings, because it's really obnoxious when someone shotguns you. Even if they don't do the alpha, they still break your engine and cause the flooding, which still still fucks you up. But still, regardless, Wargaming did that, and Wargaming added the submarine surveillance on a fair few surface ships. Not really the surface ships that needed it. They added it to a bunch of backline ships like Zao and Venezia. Like, these are not the guys that are dealing the most with subs. They added it to them, which always felt like kind of Wargaming wanted to pretend like they were addressing the issue without actually addressing the issue. The ones that needed it the most were DDs, because those are the ones that interacted with subs the most generally. Still, at least now though. So, but I still think like both of those changes were good that Wargaming did. But Lesta did neither of those. Lesta hasn't really touched subs since they implemented them, besides adding a bunch of new subs. So this is finally their changes. Improvements to submarine mechanics. Version 25.3. So this is the March patch. So next month they will be implementing this, or testing it. We'll introduce a new temporary battle type to test the improved submarine mechanics. Find out more. Submarines have been in our game for 2 years and will long become an integral part of it. Sadly. Oh, wait. Oh, the fucking timing. Sorry about that. It was my dad, and I told him we can talk more on Thursday. Because he's out of the country, so the phone calls are expensive as shit. Anyway, we already have 4 upgradable submarine benches and a number of premium and special submarines. This class also has dedicated fans who constantly play on it. Yeah, they're called fucking subhuman creatures. They're the shitters that suck dick at the game and play subs because they magically get much higher win rate than this dogshit class. Bro, dedicated fans. Bro, that's like calling Ebola, I don't know, a fucking flower vase? Like, it has nothing to do with the creatures that inhabit it. Holy shit, dedicated fans. However, their gameplay is often quite one-sided. The submarine either makes successful attacks at close range and causes significant damage, or it is detected at least once and becomes the target of focused fire from a large number of ships. I wonder why people focus fire it so hard. I wonder why. You see, when a DD gets spotted, sometimes half the ships don't even fire at it. Yet when a submarine gets detected, everyone fucking smashes that thing. I wonder why. In this case, the submarine can often be destroyed without causing any damage at all. Truly a tragedy that the ship that is immune to hydro, radar, plane spotting, surface spotting, and can appear anywhere, can actually sometimes blow up. Truly. As a result, even 2 submarine battles in a row can be radically different. In the first, they will cause over 100,000 damage and destroy several ships, and in the second, it will be quickly destroyed itself without causing any damage at all. I mean, this was the fundamental issue that people highlighted back in the day when Wargaming tried to first implement submarines, is that it's basically impossible to balance, because you have to have a hull that is incredibly squishy while at the same time having these devastating attacks. It never fit World of Warships arcade gameplay, and they're only figuring it out now. At the same time, when a submarine manages to launch its torpedoes point blank and cause significant damage to a ship, this leaves a lot of negative emotions in the player who encountered. Yep, shotgunning sucks ass. And in this case, it does not matter that this tactic is extremely dangerous for the submarine and does not even guarantee the destruction of the ship. We want to improve the submarine gameplay to make interaction with them more comfortable, without making the game on the submarines themselves worse. We currently have a concept for the proposed changes ready, and in version 25.3 we'll test in a separate temporary battle type underwater frontier. Let's move on to a description of the updated content. Please note, we're talking about the proposed concept of changes that will be relevant only in the temporary separate battle. At this moment, this will not affect your existing, I guess, subs and the gameplay random code, yada yada. So this is just what they're doing for the temporary battle. This is what they're basically testing. It's another, we don't want to make it uncomfortable at all moment. Yeah, it's wild. It's really wild how they're so focused on making subs and CVs as comfortable as possible. Like never any discomfort while playing the ships, while everyone else suffers discomfort. Like everyone else there is discomfort. You're playing a cruiser, and the enemy has 457mm guns, or there's a Colombo, or there's a secondary ship on your forehead. That's really fucking uncomfortable for a cruiser. Or you're trying to play behind an island, you get plane spotted, and then every battleship clicks you. Yeah, there's a lot of discomfort while playing a cruiser. Or you're playing a destroyer, and the CV hovers you, or there's stealth radars on the enemy team. That's gonna be really fucking uncomfortable to play. Or alternatively, you're playing a battleship and the enemy DDs just get to do whatever they want because your DDs aren't spotting, aren't doing anything. Or there's a bunch of smoke ships that smoke up and farm you. That's pretty fucking uncomfortable. Every other class in the game has pieces of their gameplay that are comfortable and nice and fun, and there's discomfort. It's part of the gameplay experience. But for some reason, both Wargaming and Lesta are tunnel vision on making sure that this discomfort never ever occurs for carriers or subs. Like that's why they removed proxy spotting from subs, because they would spot each other and both would blow up, and that was discomfort. They were like, no, we can't have you die like this. Instead of perhaps the submarines learning that they shouldn't run in where the other sub might be running in, and they might actually like scout and wait a bit. They always ran into each other, spotted each other, both got blown up, and Wargame was like, we have to change the game for them. Same thing with carriers. They gave them the regenerating planes, they gave them the consumable planes, and they still managed to like throw themselves into AA. So Wargaming had to go out of their way to just nerf AA in multiple ways. They nerfed the captains, they nerfed the modules, because the idea that this player base who plays these classes would actually improve at the game, no. They have to be able to play like complete retards and still have a comfortable experience. I don't know why. I don't know. It's some sort of mentality in both companies, but for some fucking reason, both of these classes have to be coddled. Yeah, exactly. It's wild, but both of these companies have this idea that you have to coddle the subs and the CVs. You can't have any expectation for the people who play this. They have to have a comfortable experience no matter how dumb they are, or no matter how bad they are. Which is wild, because like if you're bad in a cruiser, you just blow up instantly. If you're bad in a DD, well, you're the average 3-minute Shimakaze who walks into a radar and dies. But when that happens to subs or CVs, it's some sort of tragedy. It's a catastrophe. It's like, I don't understand the logic. I don't understand the logic. Submarines will have their gameplay update. They will not be able to deal a lot of damage at the moment, so in a burst, but their survivability will increase. Oh no. Thus, submarines will deal about the same amount of damage as before, but this damage will be dealt more smoothly during the battle. This sounds like the ping 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 shit show we have on EU right now. Ping ping torp torp, ping ping torp torp, and then you never do any damage to the subs. This sounds horrendous. The updated torpedoes will offer a choice of 2 tactics. A riskier one through the use of acoustic torpedoes, allowing you to inflict more damage, or a safer one, but causing less damage if you use regular torpedoes. The submarine's position system will also become clearer. Each of them will have clear advantages and disadvantages determining the game situation for which it is suitable. To effectively implement the submarine, the player will need to alternate positions and change tactics depending on the situation in battle. Bro, good luck with that. The submarine player base might be the only player base that rivals the CVs in how retarded they are. Uh-oh. Below you will find detailed information about all the changes. Changes to torpedo armament. First of all, we'll update the submarine's torpedo armament. Changes will affect both acoustic and conventional torps. Sonar and acoustic torps. The new concept combines acoustic guided torpedoes with sonar. Now, to launch an acoustic torpedo, you must first hit an enemy ship with a sonar. However, one pulse hit will only allow you to launch 1 torpedo. Okay? To launch the next one, you need to hit it with a sonar again. The damage from acoustic torpedoes has been increased. That's pretty interesting. So he actually has to land his pings, and also you know if a sub is pinging you, you know he's also launching torpedoes right then. Huh. It lands a ping. Now it can launch a torp. And now it has to land another ping if it wants to launch another torp. Huh. But they're all, are these aren't even homing though. Are these just like conventional? Because or no, does the each torpedo home where the ping hit? Wait. Let's read on. The sonar's operating principle has also been changed. Now all hits are single. You don't need to hit the same sector twice to extend its action time and improve torpedo guidance. Are not tied to a specific location on ship. You just need to hit the ship with an impulse. You can send all the impulses at one point or the different ones and have no action time. No action time. The sector will be active until the ship removes it with emergency. So with DCP, or the launched acoustic torpedo is destroyed and has not traveled its entire range and deviates from the target by too large a degree. Oh yeah, you can destroy torps now. The sector is also reset if an acoustic torpedo is not launched within a certain time after the sonar hit, or when the submarine goes to maximum depth. Oh shit, so if the sub dives, the pings disappear? Guiding torpedoes to the marked sector will be comparable in efficiency to a double sonar hit from the current system. Oh shit, so it's like double ping 24/7 though. The maximum simultaneous number of sector marks on a ship and torpedoes launched depends on the class, and it will be 4 for battleships and aircraft carriers, 3 for cruisers, and 1 for destroyers and subs. Interesting. How much does this affect it? Oh yeah, that like shows how many pings you can have. Okay, so like that was the counter. So this guy has 1 out of 4 pings now. So does it affect the amount of pings you have? So wait, you get rewarded for pinging different sections of the ship by being able to launch what? Huh? Okay. Another change will be to the surface effect that appears when a submarine uses sonar. It will now always show the direction the submarine is moving rather than the direction of the pulse being emitted. God bless. So they will always, the fucking ping on the surface always shows which way the sub is going, instead of being highly inconsistent. That's good. Conventional torpedoes. The main change to regular torpedoes is a significant reduction in damage. The submarine will no longer be able to deal significant damage with them in a short period of time at close range. So basically they're removing shotgunning here as well. We'll also test replacing regular torpedoes with deep-sea torpedoes that will be able to hit both cruisers, battleships, and aircraft carriers, as well as only battleships and aircraft carriers. So they're adding both deep waters and Asashia deep waters, or they will test them. Thus, the submarine now has 2 strategies to choose from. The first is to use acoustic torpedoes, which can cause significant damage, but give away its position and risk receive damage from opponents in return. The second strategy carries fewer risks, since it will be possible to use regular torps while remaining invisible. However, in this case, the submarine will cause much less damage. The change also makes the so-called shotgun extremely ineffective, as it is no longer possible to deal significant damage at close range in a short time. I'm not sure how I feel. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Like, removing shotgunning is really good. And also, like, there's going to be a lot of ping, 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 but you also know, when they ping, that's when they launch torps. And you can see on, if they update the positioning better, you know how far away they are and when you need to move. I feel like I don't know if they will be better counterplay. At least you can spam a lot more ASW on them, and the conventional torps are pretty shit now. I don't know how I feel about this. Changes in submarine positions. The submarine positions will be reworked. There will be 4 of them, and their features will change. Each position will have its own clear fixed pros and cons, determining its purpose for the submarine. Or they mean depth, basically. First, we will describe the characteristics of the positions in the table, and then we'll talk about each one of them in more detail. Okay, surface position, you can use all weapons. Your speed is maximum. You get your power back. Your visibility is standard. You can see allies and opponents. Your RPF, I guess RPF is disabled. Sound direction finder? Oh, the one, oh, that's the search. What is it called? Their underwater search thing. Damage received from anti-submarine, 1 out of 10 of maximum. Okay. Periscope depth. You can only use torps. Your speed is 1/3. your maximum. Okay, that's pretty good that they can't run around on that shit. Autonomy, frozen. Wait, they don't use battery on periscope anymore. Not consumed, but not restored. Visibility, wait, but standard visibility on periscope. That's a huge change. Because right now, if you're periscope, you got like 2 km conceal. But now they're gonna have standard, which means they're standard spotting, which is like DD spotting, right? That's pretty wild. That's actually a pretty wild change. I don't like the battery thing, but it comes with a pretty big downside. Oh, visibility. No, never mind. That's their visibility. Wait, where does his visibility? Who can PLC? Allies, sound direction works. Damage received from anti-submarine max. Oh, never mind. You're right. It's his visibility, isn't it? It's his visibility. Ah, you're right. You're right. I wonder what his visibility is. Because if his visibility goes to 2.2 while he can spot everything, that's kind of fucked. At least they don't talk about what damage they take from guns, and they don't talk about what they're vulnerable to being spotted from. Because those are pretty important. They're missing damage taken from surface weapons, and it's missing like what can spot them. Working depth, you can only use acoustic from underwater. Your speed is max. Autonomy is being spent. You spot 50% less. You can still see though 50% at like 30 meters, I guess. Or you can only see allies though. But you can use your surface spot and you take max damage. At maximum depth, all weapons are unavailable. You move at 1/3 of the max speed. You can only see 2 km visibility. And you can only see allies. And sound direction is disabled, and you take 1 out of 10 maximum from anti-sub weapons. But you still take damage though, and you move much slower. So if you get oil slicks, I don't know. On one hand, I don't like that they take so little damage at this low depth, but on the other hand, right now 60 meters is irrelevant. No one goes that deep for any reason. There's no point to go that deep. Like, if you go max depth, you can't see anything, you can't use any weapons, you can't use any consumables. It's basically a hiding depth. That's what it is. And also, if you're oil slicking at max depth because you're so slow, it's very easy to continuously hit you, though. I don't know. I don't know how it'll work. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Because this is damage received from anti-submarine weapons, but it's not flooding and fire damage. And that's what really fucks with subs. We'll see. We'll see. This is Mir Korabli. It's MK7. Surface position. And this provision has remained virtually unchanged. Its function is still primarily to restore autonomy and conduct attacks. At the same time, submarine on the surface of the water is visible and vulnerable to enemy fire, but will only receive 10% of damage from depth charges and airstrikes. Periscope depth. The main purpose of this position is covert observation of opponents with the possibility of attacking. However, moving around the map at periscope depth is now disadvantageous. The submarine speed is reduced by 2/3. At this depth, the hydrophone also starts working. It is no longer equipment and is active constantly at periscope and working depths. Wait, constant hydrophone? So, but it can't spot enemies anymore. Is that what they mean? It can't spot enemies anymore at the deeper distance. Wait, huh? At this and subsequent depths, the submarine cannot be detected by aircraft. Wait, they're immune to plane spotting at periscope now. That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. It can spot everything. Oh, so it still spots everything. What the fuck? That sounds insanely powerful, the hydrophone then? I'm not sure if the downside of being slow is enough to make up for being permanently able to sit at this depth and having permanent hydrophone and being permanently immune to plane spotting. Working depth. At this depth, the submarine can already fully move around the map without being detected. However, it pays for this by reducing visibility and the inability to see detected enemy ships. However, the possibility... Oh, so you can no longer use your team's spotting to see enemy ships. However, the possibility of carrying out an attack still remains. At this step, the hydrophone works. The submarine will be able to launch acoustic torps if the sonar hits the silhouette of the enemy ship shown by the hydrophone. Oh yeah, because you got perma-hydrophone now. What the fuck? Maximum depth. This is the safest depth for a submarine, which is used in case you're attacked by many opponents at the same time. Its main advantage is significantly reduced damage from anti-submarine weapons. However, the submarine pays for this literally in every way. It cannot use any weapons, and all sectors marked by sonar are reset when moving to this depth. The speed is reduced by 2/3, and the visibility of ships is significantly limited. Thus, we have changed the characteristics of different submarine positions, indicating the purpose. Now, each depth gives clear advantages and disadvantages, and the submarine player will need to choose the most advantageous options in order to effectively implement his ship. Changes in anti-submarine weapons. Okay, well, here we go. Let's see. Nowadays, depth charges are very narrowly specialized weapons. They work only against submarines, and if there are no submarines in the battle or they are on the other flank, then anti-submarine warfare is not used at all. At the same time, depth charges are extremely effective against submarines themselves. They cause significant damage and have a large radius of destruction, often causing oil spills, unmasking the submarine. We want to rework their mechanics, expanding the capabilities for using depth charges and airstrikes. Now, if they do not hit the submarine immediately after being dropped, they do not explode immediately, but remain in place for some time, waiting for the target. Thanks to this, it will be easier to hit the submarine, even if you take too much lead. So you want to kind of overlead on subs chasing you now. In fact, if a submarine is right behind you chasing you, you just want to drop this shit in front of him to fuck with him. So it's kind of, they're basically implementing the mine mechanic to the ASW. Okay, so he's pinging me? Yeah, look, he's laying like a wall in front of him. It looks much wider, by the way, than normally. Oh, so it sits there for 30 seconds. It sits there for 30 seconds! So if the sub tries to run at me from here, it fucking zones him out. Huh. That sounds kind of Ebola for the sub. I like that. That sounds kind of Ebola for the sub. I kind of like that. Depth charges will also be able to damage all ships. Surface ships will only receive 10% of damage and will also destroy passing torpedoes. At the same time, the reload time of airstrike has been increased. Yo, what the fuck? Torps coming? Oh shit, wait. Yo, wait, no way. Wait, it was a shorter drop, by the way, when he dropped it close. You saw that? How fast was this drop? That's 4 point something, and when he dropped it further away, it was 8 point something. Oh, they made it so it scales on distance. They made it so the closer you drop, the shorter the drop time. Holy shit, that actually makes a lot of sense, but I'm glad they finally did this. Travel time dependent drop. Holy shit, God bless. So wait, we see Torps coming our way. We dropped the minefields. Yo, that's so cool! That's so cool! Actually, that's so cool, the counterplay. That's so fucking cool. Like if you're pushing in a battleship and you know there's a DD on your flank, you just lay the depth charges next to you and then you keep pushing, and if it torps, you can fuck up a lot of his torps. That is so fucking cool. Holy shit. That is actually so fucking cool. Dude, I'm in awe at the technology. I'm in awe at the fucking technology. This will fuck with Torp DD something fierce, I reckon, though. But is it like one... It looked like one ASW per torpedo. So I would assume Like, it causes huge splash. Like, this thing blew up both of these. So I would assume this is only mostly effective against subs because they launch a few torps that hit hard, whereas, like, wide spreads of torps are just going to punch through it. They're going to be mitigated, but they're going to punch through it. Huh, interesting. As for mines, due to technical limitations in version 25.3, it will not be possible to destroy them with anti-submarine weapons. However, we want to add this option! Yes! Ships using mine layers will be strengthened if necessary. No, fuck you, they don't need to be strengthened. I hate mines. In addition, anti-submarine weapons will be able to frequently cause flooding of ships when they are damaged. Based on the results of the test, we'll either reduce the chance of causing flooding for anti-submarine ships or could remove it completely. Ha! That's, bro, that can be pretty strong. Because that's like, because if this works against surface ships, so everyone can lay a mine? The planes are pretty easy to shoot down, but AA becomes much more valuable. Another change will affect the airstrike. Now the aircraft's approach time is fixed and does not depend on the drop distance. Thanks to this, it will become more understandable and predictable. Okay, interesting. This way, anti-submarine weapons will have full potential for use in all battles, and players will have more ways to counter the torpedo threat. I don't know how to feel about this, but it is interesting. Like, this is skill expression. I like this. This is something I didn't expect to see being added to the game, but this is a way of expressing your skill. And also, this means DD's kiting from subs are basically immune to torps. In fact, DD's kiting are just immune to torps, because you got ship-based ASW and you got a shit ton of ASW. Like, actually, ship-based ASW suddenly became really, really good, because anytime you're kited and someone tries to ping or torch you from behind, you just press G for ASW, and you lay a minefield that removes all the torps. So you can basically never be torped from behind in those ships. Other changes. 2 more changes will affect the visibility of submarines. First of all, the new concept removes the underwater search equipment. We reworked the submarine's position system, clearly highlighting its strengths and weaknesses, and the presence of this equipment would have introduced an imbalance, breaking the logic of positions, which according to our idea is fixed and gradually memorized by players to the level of intuitiveness. The principle of interaction between the hydroacoustic search and the submarine will also change. Now it will be able to see a submarine at periscope and operating depth throughout its entire range. At the same time, it will be displayed as a silhouette updated every few seconds, similar to how the submarine itself sees enemy ships using a hydrophone. It will be impossible to see a submarine at max depth using the... Okay, I'm actually getting kind of fucking interested in this. So wait, he pops Hydra? Yo! It works to... Hydroacoustic search actually working the way hydroacoustic search is supposed to work! No way! The technology! No way! Holy shit! Holy shit! They removed the dumb fucking consumable and they made Hydra do what it was fucking... They made ASDIC do what ASDIC was developed for. Holy shit. The new role of submarines in combat. Speaking about submarines in general, I would like to note that the new concept, taking into account all the changes, the role and gameplay will change somewhat. First of all, submarine survivability will increase. It will now be much more difficult to quickly destroy or cause serious damage to a submarine that has been detected, even for a short time. Thanks to this, playing on submarines will become somewhat easier, and the class will forgive more player mistakes. At the same time, the submarine's increased survivability will be paid for by changing its torpedo armament. It will no longer be possible to cause significant damage in a short period of time by simply approaching an unsuspecting target point blank. The submarine will either have to make itself known by hitting the enemy with a sonar pulse, or be content with significantly reduced damage per salvo of conventional torps, which can be launched without revealing itself. Thus, their role will shift towards supporting allies. Submarines will also conduct more reconnaissance for allies. That is pretty wild. For the event, 3 special tier 10 subs will be added for the game. K41, which is basically K1, Ide, which is a Balau, and a U2601, which is 2501. Okay. Bro, we're gonna test that. We're gonna go play this game mode for sure. It's next patch on Lesta. We're gonna go test this shit for sure. This looks very, very interesting. Like, there's so many new mechanics being in. Bro, imagine getting new mechanics. Imagine getting active development in your game. Holy shit. Okay, each submarine will have its own special settings, thus it will be possible to try completely different types of submarine gameplay in a modified concept. The K-41 will be a submarine destroyer. It moves quickly across the map and conducts reconnaissance. It will only have access to the surface position and operating depth. It also has access to repair party, which can only be activated on the surface, and its hydrophone has a long range of 10 km. The submarine's main battery fires in a series of salvos. It does not have acoustic torps, and the range of conventional ones is 15 km, and they hit ships of all classes. What the fuck? IDE will receive the concept of universal submarine. Its features is a faster acceleration during built-in acceleration. The Hydra works at 8 km. Improved steering drives. Funny button. The range of the faster plane shift. The range of acoustic torps is 12 and conventional is 20, but they are deep sea and can only hit battleships and aircraft carriers. What the fuck? The U-2601 is well suited fighting for points. This submarine has an improved engine like the IDE, and among its equipment is the speed boost, which is only available in the surface position, as well as hydroacoustic surge, which only works in the surface position and at periscope depth. However, its hydrophone only works at 6 km. These look so fucking weird. My first reaction is some of these look completely busted, but then I have to take into account that it's so many new mechanics they're introducing at once. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this. I'm really interested in some of these things. Like hydro-working against subs is something I've been begging for ages. The fact that they're making ASW working against minefields again is fucking great on Lesta. And that fucking ASW destroying Torps is very, very interesting. I just don't know how bad it'll be. Because I'm worried how strong it'll be against torpedo destroyers. My greatest worry here is that in their act of countering subs, they're accidentally kind of fucking over torpedo destroyers. I don't know. But you gotta remember that their example let him spot the Torps at like max. He's running Hydro, so that's why he spotted them so far away. Normally the Torps would be spotted here, and I don't know if you would have even time to drop your ASW. Like, do you have time to drop it? Maybe. If you're really, really fast and good, maybe you have time to like quickly drop it, because the Torps are usually spotted somewhere here. I don't know if you have time. It's interesting. We'll have to try. But it does make hydro torpedoes even weaker, which is, I don't know, is it good or not? Maybe. Okay. It will be time to coincide with Submarines Day and will take place from March 19th to April 9th. The battles will be held in a random battles format, with the only difference being that only tier 10 ships can participate. In the case of a long wait, the teams can be supplemented with bots. Oh shit. Holy. Well, we're definitely testing this. I don't know if it's gonna be good or bad. On one hand, submarines being harder to kill. I don't know if I like it, because right now, submarines on Lesta are much easier to kill than submarines on Wargaming, because Wargaming has given them a bunch of built-in damage reduction, which Lesta hasn't. Also, on Wargaming client, if a submarine is spotted at periscope depth, on Wargaming, the secondaries don't shoot it. Even though they could shoot it, they don't shoot it. I don't know if they accidentally or intentionally broke the coding, but secondaries don't shoot periscope depth subs. On Lesta, the second the sub can be targeted by secondaries, they're shooting it. So submarines coming to the surface get giga-fucked by secondary ships, because they can take full pens and full splash from everything. So, I don't know. Really interesting, though. Again, that seems to be a trend with Lesta, is like, I don't know how to feel about this, but I am intrigued.